Now, the original Air Combat game started as an arcade release back in, I want to say it was 92, 93. I think it was 92 in Japan and 93 in North America, maybe. It was quite impressive for its time. You know, it was still very much in the early days of 3D. And they made quite a spectacle of it. You know, they had a full like F-16 cockpit for you to sit in with this giant screen in front of you. You know, you had your throttle and your stick, and it was awesome. I got to play it as a kid. It blew my mind, and you paid for it too. It cost $1 per play. It was wild, but it was a premium experience. So of course, why not bring that experience home to home consoles? And so that's what we have here. Air Combat on the PS1. You gripped your stick while walking the Sumatic? I mean, yeah. Wouldn't you? Okay, so we're gonna go to... Oh. Well, that's... Oh, nope, 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 nope. There we go. Okay, I'm gonna have to switch the monitor because I see a delay if I'm playing this directly on the capture utility. So just give me a second. I need to switch this here. Okay, there you go. You know what? Let's not mess around. Let's go hard. We're going hard. You know when Hollywood Wolfman was saying, you know, this gives me a hard on, I'm pretty sure that's what they meant. They want to go hard mode on the air combat. So we're gonna do the same thing here, guys.
Attempts to free our country have been foiled by repeated surprise attacks. To avoid escalating this war and causing unacceptable civilian losses, we wish to employ your services. Surgical airstrikes and the elimination of enemy air superiority will tip the scales in our favor. You will receive remuneration commensurate with your positions as the premier top guns of the world.
Now, this game is actually the one game I have the least amount of time on for all the Ace Combat franchise, which I own every single one. At least that's console based. I don't own I don't own the majority of the handhelds. And unlike the other games, this game you actually can't use the stick. This game was made before the DualShock controller became a reality, so everything was still very much digital input using the D-pad. When the second game comes out, that one will utilize the DualShock thumbstick inputs, which really makes it feel so much better to play.
This is an evaluation of your operational abilities. Intelligence reports an enemy supply unit moving to resupply their forward positions. You should have the advantage of surprise. You should have localized air superiority for the duration of the operation. Target, C5A supply unit.
Okay, so we're going after the cargo ships. Alright, we start off with the trusty F4, which unfortunately in the Ace Combat universe is the worst fighter in the game. Which is kind of wild, because it kind of flies in the face in all the, you know, with all the real accolades that this aircraft has actually accomplished. It would definitely not be the bare bones, like, lowest tier, but I mean, hey, you gotta start somewhere, I guess. Now, most Ace Combat games usually start out with you going up against very fixed, like, targets. By fixed, I mean big, lumbering, slow-moving aircraft. Like this right here, actually. And this is to kind of ease you into feel how the game plays, you know?
On our six. Enemy locked on target. Fire! Shoot it down! Quick take off!
So yeah, everybody that you have to target is in the front. You know, right in front of you. Moving off the same speeds, the same altitude. So it's a tutorial on how to fly and how to target, how to shoot the weapons, without making a tutorial mission that's designed to do just that. They just make the first mission in the way the tutorial mission. Now, that's not always the case for every single Ace Combat game, but it's usually the case for most of them. Alright, where am I being led here? Oh, that direction, okay.
Enemy in sight. Enemy up ahead.
Okay, well that's an F4, I don't care about them.
On our left.
Although I don't know if this game has aces. The second game has specific aces to where, like, these guys are kind of cannon fodder. Like, you just shoot them down to add points to your accolades.
Take off.
But other than that, they're not really that important. Now, of course, I've seen these things fly in real life. They're pretty impressive. Yeah, this game is pretty primitive compared to most all other games. But even for the time, like, this was pretty cool when it came out. But once Ace Combat 2 came out, for me personally, this game just oh shit, oh. Damn. Alright, they don't mess around in hard mode. It's one and done. That's actually pretty hardcore. Alright. Usually you can pull real hard maneuvers and it's done. Yeah, it just felt like a... Okay. Alright, game. Okay. Alright. Wow, just... That's it, huh? Just... No data to save. What does that mean? Alright, we're gonna try this again. Okay, I think we can save in between missions. I'm pretty sure we can.
Gentlemen.
Okay. Gentlemen. But yeah, this game, compared to like the other games, this game feels really stiff as far as like the movement goes and stuff. In a way, it's probably more realistic, actually. Because if you play the later games, man, you're flying around like, well, you're flying around in a way that's definitely unrealistic, but it feels good.
This is an evaluation of your operational abilities. Intelligence report.
Okay. No more googly eyes.
Ready?
Alright, let's make this work.
Now.
Although, unfortunately, we may have to stick...
Locked on target. Fire.
We may have to stick with this view,
Great shot.
because it gives us a whole lot more information.
Back one.
You know, it gives us our altitude, which for this game is definitely important, because it's kind of hard to distinguish where you are as far as altitude goes, because the textures are so vague. It also gives us an idea of where we are speed-wise. Okay. Alright, yeah, so... Yep, we just have to keep moving forward.
Enemy in sight.
In the second game, they do start bringing some of the HUD elements over.
Up ahead. On our left.
Oh my gosh, look how much fuel's already been consumed, jeez.
Up ahead. Take off. Bingo. Yahoo! Don't let on our left.
Now, in the Ace Combat universe...
Enemy locked on us. Missile approaching. Dive. Dive.
Whoa. Oh god, okay.
Enemy in sight.
Jets usually take 2 missiles to take down. Smaller aircraft, like helicopters and stuff, usually take just 1 missile to take down.
Bogey on our tail. Enemy in up ahead.
Big
Take
aircraft,
off.
like the C-5s we're attacking here, usually takes 3
Up
missiles.
ahead.
Why is that the case? I don't know, that's what the game designer felt. So, we're,
Dive.
oh gosh, okay.
Warning,
Up and take off.
Alright, I think these are the last 2.
warning, warning, warning.
Enemy locked on target. Fire. Shoot it down. Bogey at 12 o'clock. Stay with us. Enemy locked on us. Missile approaching.
Uh-oh.
Dive. Dive.
Oh my, wow. Man, you don't get much time to react. All right, we're gonna try this one more time on hard. If they keep busting us like that, we may have to go down to normal. I mean, heck, even I didn't have trouble beating Ace Combat 2 on hard. This game doesn't see it that way, I guess.
Gentlemen, you are the cream of the world's air forces. This country desperately needs your help. This is an evaluation of your operational abilities. Intelligence reports an enemy supply unit.
Oh, come on.
This is an evaluation of your...
Ready? Break now.
Okay, go after this one first.
Shoot it down. Bingo. Yahoo! Don't let back on our left.
Okay, see, we don't even start with that much fuel to begin
Up
with.
ahead. Enemy in sight. On our right. Bogey on our 6. Take off. Enemy in sight. Enemy in sight. Up ahead. Enemy locked on target. Fire. Shoot it down. Up ahead. Stay with him. Bogey on our 6. Up ahead. Take off. Bogey on our 6.
We're, we're close enough for guns.
Take off.
Warning,
Enemy locked on us. Missile approaching. Dive.
Uh-oh.
Dive.
alert, body damage.
Okay, we're gonna switch over to normal now. clearly I do not have the skills to play this particular game on hard. That makes sense given how much I've not played this version. Alright, game. You humbled me.
This is an evaluation of your operational
Okay, this should go a little smoother. I wonder what it'd be like if they were to make a remake of this game. And how it fit in the timeline, specifically.
Right now. Enemy locked on target. Fire.
Hey, is the Blade Storm? Good to see you, dude. Yep, this is the OG Ace Combat, which went by originally by the name of Air Combat,
Up ahead.
which is basically a console release of an arcade game, also called Air Combat.
Bingo. Yeah.
Today is Air Combat's 30th anniversary release on the PS1 in Japan.
Enemy targets located. On our left.
Oh. I'm a little too far there.
Bogey on our tail. Bogey on our six.
Okay.
Take off. Enemy in sight.
Yeah, there.
Bogey on our six. Up ahead. Take off. Enemy locked on target. Fire. Shoot it down. Great shot. On our left. Up ahead. Fire. Bogey on our tail.
Warning.
You're kidding me.
Stay with them. Bingo. Yeah. Don't let him get away. He's wasted.
Alright. Who's trying to ruin my day?
On our right. Bogey on our six.
That was one of the challenging things about this game and the second game, is that is that your head is constantly fixed forward. You can't look around.
Take off.
Your situational awareness is very limited, only from what you can see from your
Warning.
Enemy locked on us. Missile
your
approach.
radar heads-up display. Alright.
Alert
Bogey on our
body
six.
Gosh damn.
Alert body damage. Alert body damage.
Okay, where's that asshole?
Body damage.
Bogey on our
Alert
six.
body damage.
Where is... Oh, he's over there. Alright.
Off.
I should have a pretty good cornering speed. But instead, this game forces me to accelerate so I can turn faster.
Enemy locked on target. Fire. Shoot it down. Jesus, missed. On our right. Bogey on our six. On our bogey on our six. Up ahead.
Okay.
On our right.
Yeah, see, if I could just look, if I just swivel my head to see where he's at, I can get a much better understanding of where I need to approach. Oh, wow, he took 2 missiles.
Back one.
Gosh damn. Alright. Vengeance has been assured. Let's get back to the mission.
Enemy in sight. Up ahead. Enemy targets located. On our left. Fire. Shoot it down. Quick
Alright, that one's down.
Warning.
Bogey on our 6.
Warning.
Up ahead.
Warning.
On our left.
Warning.
Oh boy.
Take off.
Warning.
There it is.
12 o'clock on our right. Up ahead.
Warning.
Fire on our right. Bogey on our 6. Stay with him. Great shot.
Wow, it ate another one?
Warning.
There we go.
Warning.
Alright, I think that's it. That's it. Let's get the hell out of here. Yeah, the game's graphics are really simplistic for its time. Like there's even no adjustments for like the ailerons or the elevators. You know. It's pretty much a one and done model. They'll greatly improve on this in the with the second game.
Immediate mobilization required. Our base's position was compromised in the last enemy push. Reports indicate imminent arrival of bombers. Scramble and ace those bogies. Target B-52 bomber force.
Well, if they're confirmed hostile, then wouldn't they be bandits? Alright, guys. We know what we're taking. Do we just automatically get aircraft in this game? We don't purchase them like we do in the other games?
Ready? Break now.
There were those tornadoes.
Warning.
Enemy locked on. Missile approaching. Dive.
Oh.
Dive.
Oh, so we were on an attack vector.
On our right. Up ahead. On our left. Bogey on our 6. Fire.
Man, I was just looking at these aircrafts in an air museum.
Take off.
They're huge.
On our left. Up ahead.
Yeah, see, don't bother unless if you really want to take these guys out, so that way
Missile approaching. Dive.
they don't give you as hard of a time to deal with them.
Bogey on our 6.
You're better off just leaving them and sticking with your assigned targets.
Take off. On our left. Bogey on our 6. Bogey on our tail. Enemy inside. Take off. Up ahead. Fire. Shoot it down. Blew him away. Bogey on our tail. On our right. Enemy in sight. Bogey on our 6.
Yep.
Bogey on our tail.
Alright,
Take off.
we're gonna have to
On our left.
pass them.
Bogey on our tail. On our right. And up ahead.
Where'd he go? I lost
On
him.
our left. Bogey on our 6.
Oh, he's that way.
Enemy in sight. Take off.
There he is.
Bogey on our 6.
Got tally.
On our left. Bogey on our tail. Take off. Up ahead. Enemy locked on
Alright.
target. Fire. Shoot it
Fox
down.
whatevers.
Great shot.
Probably a Fox 3 since we just target it and then once the missile flies we don't have to worry about keeping it on lock.
Accomplished.
Hey Noah, do you know how many missions this game has? Think it's capable of us beating it one night? We did it for the second game. Don't remember? Ah.
AWACS reports an enemy incursion in our sector.
Nope.
We are diverting you from local air support to forward operations. Neutralize the approaching units. Target enemy attacking force. Formation makeup is unknown. Expect enemy fighter support and a tough dogfight. Good luck.
Enemy attack! Enemy attack! Huh. Said we had a new aircraft available, didn't it? Oh well. You know, at the end, because you have to fight a final boss, and usually you have to do the Death Star trench run, right? We beat basically the Top Gun Maverick, which is like a staple in Ace Combat. What's the plot of this game?
Ready?
I guess I don't remember. A coup happened or something, or maybe that was the second game, and now we gotta go deal with it. Or some shit, I don't know. The story for this game is very... Oh, jeez. The story for this game is very paper thin.
Alert, body damage. Alert, body damage.
Not this one. What was this? What was this game's story?
Target fire! Shoot it down! Jesus! Focus on our six! Enemy locked on target fire! Shoot it down!
Going over against the Harrier.
Jesus! Miss!
Come on.
Jesus! Miss! Bring back one! Fire! Shoot it down! Focus on our six! Jesus! Miss! Take off! Jesus! Miss!
My God, what am I firing? First generation Sparrows? Hit the damn target already.
Jesus! Miss! Don't let him get away! Enemy target located!
Jeez.
Enemy locked on target. Fire! Shoot it down! Back one! Enemy target located. Focus on our six. Enemy in sight. Take off! Enemy locked on target. Fire! Shoot it down! Jesus! Focus on our six.
That looked like an F-18.
On our right! Enemy in sight.
You know what? Go up to this guy. No, you didn't target it.
Focus on our six. Up ahead!
Gosh damn it.
Focus on our tail! Focus on our six. Up ahead! On our right! Focus on our six.
Alright, let's go to the one on the right then.
On our left! Focus on our six. Up ahead! On our right!
Come on.
Enemy in sight.
You know what? Yeah, you look like a fine target.
Up ahead! Fire! Shoot it down! Bingo! Yeah! Enemy target located. Up ahead! Enemy locked on target. Fire! Shoot it down! Toast!
Yeah, they're over here somewhere.
Enemy in sight. Up ahead!
What is that?
Enemy locked on target. Fire! Shoot it down! Quick shot!
Why are we shooting at a regular airliner?
Back one! On our right! Up ahead! Focus on our six.
E-767?
Locked on target. Fire! Shoot it down! Bingo! Yeah, take off!
Oh, that's their AWACS.
Toast! Focus on our tail! On our right! Up ahead! Fire! Shoot it down! Back one! Mission accomplished.
Alright, we just knocking them down. Wingman joining. Oh, sweet, we got a wingman now.
Up to now, our offensive missions have been constrained by the presence of civilians in Donetsk City. The recent evacuation of that city permits us to engage hard targets within the city perimeter. Target 1, Computer Communications Center. Target 2, Enemy Headquarters Building. Night conditions should neutralize enemy ground fire. However, the city has at least 3 interceptors available. We have no intelligence on force composition. From now on, you will have a wingman assigned to you. Inform him of the operation before departure.
Yeah, no problem, Noel. Guard my tail. This is so cool. Like, different aircraft with different mission parameters. Sergio. Guard my tail on your own. Secure the construct. Secure the construct? What? Nah, get. Keep him off my tail. Huh. Do I have to purchase aircraft? I swore I had another aircraft available. So Scarface Squadron or Merc Squadron is hired to wipe... Oh. So the story of this game is that terrorists have seized control of the Scully Island and archipelago and the Usian continent. So Scarface Squadron... A Merc Squadron is hired to wipe that out.
Ready?
What was the story for the second one, though? Because remember that there was a coup d'etat that happened in the second one. And you're also playing as Scarface.
Enemy in sight. Enemy in sight.
Okay, there's
Enemy
our targets.
located.
Okay, how many?
Bogey at 12
One,
o'clock.
two? One missile? Two
Bogey on
missile?
our 6.
Alright, one missile is enough to do it, which makes sense. These are buildings.
Enemy in sight. Take off.
Alert, body damage.
Second one is a coup d'etat that encompasses all of Usia. Oh, okay.
Alert, body damage. Alert, body damage.
That'd be cool to see, like, a full-on remake of that. And I don't mean, like, what they did with, what was it,
Bogey on our
what was it called? Like, they made a remake of the second one for the 3DS.
on our right.
And I know for some people it's better, but for me, I like the original PS1 version.
On our right. Enemy in sight. Enemy in sight. Bogey on our 6.
Hammer, what was it called? Allied Assault? Was that it?
Take off.
They basically they gave it the same name as the one that had come out on like the
Enemy
PS3,
in sight. Up ahead.
the one that isn't in the Strange World universe.
On our right. Bogey on our tail.
Even though it has nothing to do with that game.
Bogey on our 6.
Assault Horizon Legacy was the Western name, yes.
Take off.
Which I do have. But I honestly like playing the original
Bogey on our tail.
PS1 game.
Alert, body damage. Alert, body damage. Alert,
Japanese
body
name was
damage.
Ace Combat 3D Cross Rumble. Ah, okay.
Warning.
Cool.
Bogey on our 6. Take off. On our left. Great shot. On our left.
Alright. We did it.
Accomplished.
Hey, our buddy's giving us a wing wiggle there. View aircraft. Maybe that's what I'm supposed to be doing. Ah, there we go. Wow, look at that. Oh, that's right. Don't they have like these aircraft like in their original colors? As soon as you buy them, they put them in that wild paint scheme. F-15. Ooh, that's cool looking F-4. Destroy pipeline. Destroy production site.
Reconnaissance indicates a weak link in their fuel supply infrastructure. A single pipeline transfers all crude oil from their fields to their refinery. Strike both the pipeline and the refinery. Target: oil refinery plant and oil field. Use the pipeline as a reference to the refinery. Locate and destroy.
We probably don't need to launch with support with this one. Alright, we'll just call this the F-15E. That'll justify us using ground weapons, even though in this game there's no alternative munitions, it's just gun and missile. Yeah, Ace Combat 3D was kind of flawed and had janky control issues, but I liked it. It was still better than vanilla Assault Horizon. Yeah. Like, for the people who want to fly, but have never, like, played a flying game, for them, it was great, but for all of us that want to fly it, like, how a game would usually fly in that kind of environment, it was disappointing. Because, like I said before, it took away your agency, right? Instead of you being in control, it was like, hey, it's time to go to cool cinematic mode, where it'll play out like a, it'll play out like a Michael Bay movie. Well, we'll make it look all cool and flashy, and all you do is just sit and wait until you shoot something.
Enemy in sight. Up ahead! Bingo!
Alert, body damage. Alert, body damage.
Take off!
I mean, you can use it, but also choose not to. Well, there are certain times where they force you to use it. That's the thing.
Up ahead!
Warning.
Locked on us. Missile approaching. Dive! Dive! Take off!
Warning.
Up ahead! On our left! Bogey on our 6.
Okay, let's go to that next one.
Right. Bogey on our tail! Take off! Bogey on our tail!
Unknown.
Bogey on our 6. Take off! On our left!
Is there something over here? Maybe not. We probably have to follow the pipes.
Bogey on our tail! Bogey on our 6. Enemy in sight. Take off.
Okay, this is the area we just destroyed. Let's go this way. Yeah, you don't have to use it for the other version of Assault Horizon, but you do have to in the original.
Enemy in sight.
There it is.
Up ahead. Bogey at 12 o'clock. Altitude too low. Fly.
Caution.
Bogey on our 6.
Low altitude.
On our right. Up ahead.
Okay, let's go back the other way.
Enemy on our left. Up ahead.
There you go, we'll send a couple his way.
On our 6. On our left. Bogey on our 6. Take off. Enemy in sight. Up ahead.
Alright, let's go this way.
Bogey on our 6. On our right. Bogey on our 6. Bogey on our tail. Take off.
Okay, pick our new target.
Enemy locked on target. Bogey on our tail.
Alert. Body
Low,
damage.
fly.
Alert.
Missile
Body damage.
approaching. Dive.
Alert.
Dive.
Body damage. Alert. Body damage.
And they keep giving me with these AA guns. The triple A guns.
Take off.
Warning.
On our right.
Warning.
Enemy in sight. Up ahead.
Okay, now which way? This way?
Enemy locked on target. Blew him away.
Damn. Managed to get that guy. That would be a negative.
Bogey on our 6.
Let's go back the other way.
On our left.
Okay, so it's that one over there. I'm pretty sure it's that pipeline.
Bogey on our 6. Bogey on our 6. Take off. Enemy in sight.
Oh, someone's after us.
Caution.
Bogey on our tail.
Man, where's this one going?
Enemy in sight.
Caution.
Oh, shit. That was a Sam.
Enemy in sight. Up ahead.
Alright, we got it.
Bogey at 12 o'clock. Bogey on our 6. Enemy locked on target. Great shot. On our right.
Alright, we did it.
Mission accomplished.
Yeah, maybe you'll make me a BMS believer one day, Noel. The problem is I'm just so used to how DCS plays that, you know, I tried learning Falcon 4 and BMS. And I don't know, maybe it'll change this time. Maybe if I dedicate more time to it, I'll be way more into it, but I was already like trying to figure out all the muscle memory for all the controls for DCS before I just started using full fidelity aircraft, where I just keybind a few key controls and then just use the rest in the cockpit. Oh, an A10. Yeah, back then I was just flying, trying to learn how to use the low fidelity aircraft, and it was before the time when DCS World came out, so it was still individual packages. And so I had the Flaming Cliffs 3 game, or technically it wasn't Flaming Cliffs 3. It was still Lock On. It was still Lomac.
The enemy has proved to have significant resources. This war of attrition is not to our advantage. We are now targeting key infrastructure sites. Target: resources mining system and production plant. Intelligence reports stealth fighters operating in this theater. Remember, their lack of radar signature makes visual sighting essential.
Oh. Is there a way to save this game? I just realized I haven't saved at all, and I highly doubt this game is saving for me. There we go. Yeah, I'll save over this one. Does the plane change weapon loadouts? Nope. It's all the same.
The enemy has proved to have significant resources. This war of attrition is not to our advantage. We are now targeting key infrastructure sites. Target: resources mining system and production plant. Intelligence reports stealth fighters operating in this theater. Remember, the lack of radar signature makes...
Yeah, it's basic missiles. But they gave you a lot of them, so that works out. That's the thing that kind of screwed up on the Tom Clancy's the Tom Clancy games, their fighter games that they came out with.
Ready?
Was it the Apex games? Is that what it's called? I don't remember. But they kind of, you know, they kind of stuck with the arcadey air fighter, right? And I really enjoyed the first one, even though the story was pretty predictable. And then they try to make it Hawks. That's it. Thank you. And then the second game, I guess they were like, oh man, well this is the Tom Clancy brand. We should probably make it a little more tactical and simulation-esque. So they separated the missiles instead. The only problem is by doing so, you greatly have a limited amount of missiles, but the same amount of targets. So, you know, there's a bajillion targets every time you go up in the air in these arcade games. Hence why they just give you a missile that does everything. But now they have, you know, air-to-air missiles and air-to-ground missiles. And you have a very small amount of them. But you still have a great amount of targets you have to go after. So you always run out of the missiles you need. It's like, what the hell did they think? Why did they think this was a good idea? No, they didn't redesign the missions around the redesign of the missile mechanics. So I always ran out of missiles in the second game, and I got frustrated with it. I'm like, you know what? I don't really feel like doing this anymore. Hey, is that our buddy up there? Yeah, must be. He's got that wild paint scheme. All right, let's go over here. You beat the second game? I beat the first game. I think I refunded the second game. There's that one DCS campaign that tries to be Ace Combat so hard they hired a composer from the series. Wait, what? And hey, Mahusha, good to see you, dude. Wait, which game? Which campaign? I'm downloading it. I'm purchasing it after the stream. Not gonna lie, yeah, I know you're not a big fan of the first one. I enjoyed it for what it was.
Body damage. Alert, body damage.
Enemy in
Alert,
sight.
body damage.
Bogey on our 6.
Alert, body damage.
It had less to do with the game itself, more to do with the development staff. Development staff. I feel like there's a story here.
Up ahead. On our right. On our right. Bogey on our tail. Bingo! Yahoo! Enemy in sight. Bogey on our 6. Enemy locked on target. Take off!
Alert, body damage. Alert, body damage.
Yeah, I wouldn't have mind Hawk 1's mechanics if they didn't force you to do that really weird third-person, like, really, like, far extended third-person camera.
Enemy in sight.
Like, it's okay if you want to show it dynamically for someone that's using, like, quote-unquote normal controls, right? Like the Star Fox-style controls. But for those of us that want to use, like, expert controls,
Caution, alert, body
where
damage.
it flies a little more like an actual aircraft,
Mission accomplished.
it's so hard to use. Because your camera stays the same. It stays with the horizon. However, you roll the aircraft around its axis. And so now you went from, like, rolling like you're behind the aircraft or in the cockpit, like normal. And now you're rolling the aircraft and pulling almost like you're flying an RC plane. And it makes it so much harder. And yet that's supposed to be the unlocked mode. If the dev staff wasn't so insistent that their game was superior to Ace Combat, I would have been fine with it. Oh. Yeah, the dev diaries for Hawks highlighted staff that believe that their game was better than Ace Combat in every possible way. A great example is that people sympathize more with real-world locations than Under Siege of fictional ones, which is a dumb argument. Yeah. Of course, you gotta remember what era this game was being developed in, so I could see why they thought that was... why they felt that way, but... Yeah, obviously, we see who won out in the end. Now, to be fair, at the time, Ace Combat came out with Ace Combat 6. Which itself was quite the departure from the most of the rest of the franchise. It was almost like the black sheep of the franchise. Until Assault Horizon, that is. So, Hawks actually, in a way, Hawks felt more like a traditional Ace Combat game than Ace Combat 6 did. DCS FA-18C Rising Squall campaign by Inverted. Alright, I'm gonna have to buy that. And I guess that means I'm gonna have to learn how to fly the FA-18C now. There's no way around it. Thank you for the health check redeem, and thank you for the love and support. Although I didn't see anything trigger. Why did it trigger? Here, let me check something. Right, it did nothing trigger? I didn't see anything trigger. Ace Combat 6 was a mess, but it was still totally consistent with the other games? Yeah. Totally, yeah. Wait, what game was that was bragged about for being better for dumb reasons? Tom Clancy's Hawks. Here, I'm gonna check to see if it's working. It should have triggered. Huh? That's weird. Oh, that's weird. These aren't working. Huh. Alright, for some reason this isn't working. I'm gonna have to figure out after stream. I appreciate the love and support, though. And I'll drink some water right now for the health check redeem. I didn't really have a problem with 7's storyline. I had a problem with 7 bringing back the, like, the, I don't know what to call it, the grand mission design of Ace Combat 4, where you have to do a certain amount of destruction within a time limit in order to succeed on the mission. I hated those in Ace Combat 4. Absolutely hated doing them. And they hadn't been a part of the franchise until they brought it back at 7. I'm just like, oh, you could have done without that. Other than that, I enjoyed 7. Yeah, score X points within a time limit. I hate those. Because it's a scramble to look for stuff, you know? Especially if it's like, okay, this really focuses on ground combat. I should take an A10, right? No, A10's slow.
The enemy's ADCRS, Air Defense Command and Radar System, has been identified. You can expect a steep drop in enemy effectiveness. This site is destroyed.
Okay, we're doing the Top Gun Maverick thing. We have to.
The enemy's ADCRS.
PS2 era is one time you could fly a tornado. Has the tornado never shown up in any other game? Well, I guess that would be the 4, 5, and 6 then, right? Or 5, or 4, 5, 0. Jeez, game. The game was like ready as I'm flying towards a wall, and it's like not giving me. It's not giving me. Oh, well, that was my fault. It's not giving me. It's not giving me control until like the last second. I'm like. I don't think it teaches like a tutorial, but you can focus on studying a few things at the time, and we'll tell you at time what those are. I mean, that's still cool though. Don't forget your limited number of lives. Well, I mean, technically, this is the first time we've gotten destroyed, right? Yeah, because I think in this game you have to. Like, every aircraft you have is basically... Right? Am I thinking of the right one? Yeah, like, we lost that aircraft. Damn, that blows. Ooh, a MiG-29. We definitely want something with high high mobility. They didn't drop the live system until Ace Combat 3. I don't remember there being a live system in Ace Combat 2, though. I just remember you lose money.
Air Defense Command and Radar System has been identified.
Ready?
Yeah, see, I want to roll and pull. I want to roll and pull. I want to roll and pull. Okay, now I can.
Enemy in sight.
Okay, we're gonna keep this
Enemy locked on target.
keep this
Fire.
slow.
Shoot it down. Enemy in sight. Bogey on our tail.
Slow is smooth and smooth is fast. So let's keep it slow.
Up ahead. Enemy locked on target. Fire. Shoot it down. Back line.
Yeah, see, like those
Bogey on our
helos right
tail.
there, just one and done. Wow, you weren't kidding. They really went out of their way to make this narrow.
Enemy in sight.
Like, this is the most narrow I've ever seen a tunnel, like a trench run sequence for Ace Combat.
Enemy locked on target. Fire. Shoot it down. Wasted. Up ahead.
That,
In sight.
gosh damn it, son of a- It pulled way too hard. And I didn't have time to adjust. That's what happens when you literally only have the D-pad to work with. It's like, oh, you want to pull harder? I'm like, no, this turn rate's fine. Let's stick with this turn rate. Don't forget you can yaw. Yeah, but yaw is like ball slow in this game. I mean, it's ball slow in general, but in this game especially, yawing is like, ugh. All right, A10, you're the next best thing here. Yeah, y'all's always slow.
The enemy's ADCRS, Air Defense Command and Radar System,
Ready? Break now. Enemy in sight. Bogey on our tail. Enemy target located. Up ahead. On our right. Bogey on our tail. Enemy target located. Enemy in sight. Up ahead. Enemy locked on target. Fire. Shoot it down. Wasted. Enemy target located. Enemy in sight.
Ah, that's a really steep pull.
Enemy in sight. Fire! Shoot it down! Blew him away! Enemy target located.
Yeah, this is definitely the hardest
Target located.
I've ever had to actually concentrate on these type of sequences for the Ace Combat franchise. This is ridiculous. This is ridiculous.
Enemy in sight. Enemy locked on target. Blew him away!
But we're doing it with the A10.
Enemy in sight.
There it is.
Enemy locked on target. Bingo! Yahoo! Mission accomplished.
Notice your speedometer, it's stuck at 500, which is why I hate this mission. Yeah. Good old polygon clipping. The radar was down inside the ditch itself. You know, when you point it out, yeah, that's pretty stupid.
intelligence report a transport heading to Nawicot Bay. Since it may be a troop transport, we need to sink it before it docks. Follow up with destruction of the island port facilities. The opposition is expected to consist of an enemy fighter wing of unknown composition and patrolling Aegis warships. The Aegis missile system is highly effective. Eliminate the warships quickly.
Alright, we should definitely launch with support here. Yep, that's why it makes sense to have giant robots fight each other in that universe, because radar suddenly takes away your ability to see really far and to use weapons that can go out really far. So now having something that towers over the ground, you know, being able to shoot a cannon like 15 to 30 meters above the ground, as opposed to a meter or 2 to 3 meters above the ground, will go a lot farther. So having bigger things with weapons that can shoot and technically reach a bit farther than normal conventional weapons suddenly makes more sense. Alright, I entrust my wingman. Oh, I see. We're gonna have to approach this way. So Noah, I'm curious, how far along are you in your manga? Oh my gosh.
Body damage. Alert, body damage. Alert, body damage. Alert, body damage. Alert, body damage.
Enemy in sight. Enemy locked on target. Great shot! On our left.
And are you going to have it published?
Enemy in sight.
The pilot chapter took a break. Oh, okay.
Altitude too low. Flying.
Caution.
Enemy
Low
locked on target.
altitude. Caution.
Too low. Flying.
Low altitude. Caution. Low altitude.
On our right. Enemy in sight. Bogey on our tail. Bogey on our
Well, once
tail.
you get that thing going and you get the first one published, and if there's ever a physical copy of it, let me know so I can pick one up.
On our right. Up ahead. On our right.
Caution.
Enemy locked
Oh.
on target.
Caution.
Where's that coming from? Oh, that was close.
Just missed.
Oh god, oh god, oh god. Oh, jeez.
Alert, body damage. Alert, body damage. Alert, body damage.
Up ahead.
Alert,
Bogey on our
body
six.
damage.
Enemy in sight.
Caution.
On our right. Take off.
Caution.
Bingo. Yeah.
Oh,
Caution.
yeah. What? That's bullshit. That missile should have overshot. What kind of crap is this?
Naval intelligence report a transport heading to Nawicot Bay. Since it may be a troop transport, we need to sink it before it
Ready? Break now.
Alright. Okay, you go Tango with them.
Enemy locked on target. Focus on our 6.
There you go. There's one less bad guy
Enemy
for you to
in
worry
sight.
about.
Up ahead. Take off. Focus on our 6. On our right. Take off. Focus on our tail. Focus on our tail. Enemy locked on target. Great shot.
Alert, body damage.
Enemy locked on
Alert,
target.
body
Great shot.
damage. Alert, body damage. Alert, body damage. Alert, body
Low,
damage.
flying.
Oh my god.
Caution.
Too low,
I
flying.
screwed that
Low
up.
altitude. Caution. Low altitude.
Too low,
Caution. Low
Great
altitude.
shot. On our left.
Caution.
On our right. Enemy in sight. Bogey on our 6. Great shot. Take off. On our left. Enemy locked on target. Great shot. Bogey on our 6. On our left. On our right. Up ahead. Enemy in sight. On our left. Bogey on our 6.
Okay, I think this targets the SAM launcher.
Take off.
Caution.
Great shot.
Caution. Alert, body damage.
Gosh,
Alert,
damn.
body damage. Alert, body damage. Alert, body damage. Alert, body damage.
Up ahead. Bogey on our 6. Take off.
Alert, body
Great
damage.
shot.
Alert, body damage.
There we go.
Mission accomplished.
That was getting a little close there. We'll take a look at how many missions are in air combat. Okay, so there's 17. Grab a few more aircraft. The YF-23. Oh, I forgot this was during the era where they were advertising those.
resupply facility for our forces. We cannot allow the enemy to cripple or recapture it. Current intelligence suggests the enemy is preparing a bombing raid utilizing stealth bombers. Even one can devastate the facility. Keep alert. Target, stealth bomber wing.
They got, wow, they got stealth bombers. They got the B-52. They even got the boner with them. Or I'll have him go his own way. There we go. Pair of MiG-31s. Hey, if you need help with the DCS F-18, you know where to ask. That's the plane. That's the plane that earned me the call sign tech support. No kidding.
Ready?
Okay. Well, I guess you know who I'll be calling.
Enemy locked on target. Fire! Shoot on our right! Up ahead! Bogey on our tail! Bogey on our 6!
I remember this song.
Bogey on our tail!
Caution.
Pull out of it!
Engine stall.
Engine stall.
Up
What the hell's a
ahead!
stall speed for a MiG-31?
Bogey on our 6! Enemy locked on target. Fire! Shoot it down! He's wasted! Bogey on our 6! Fire! Shoot it down! Bogey at 12 will take off! On our right! He's toast!
Man, the MiG-31's got a big ass.
Up ahead!
And there we go.
Accomplished!
Despite the elimination of all fuel refineries, the enemy continues to conduct operations. You are assigned to recon for undetected fuel supplies. Even though this is just recon, engage and eliminate any opposition patrols. Good hunting.
Alright.
Ready? Break now!
We'll just stick with our wingman here. We just have the recon.
Enemy targets located.
Oh, we got F-15s.
Enemy locked on target. Locked on us. Missile approaching.
Oh shit!
Fire.
Oh,
Alert.
that was rough.
Alert. Body damage.
On our right. Bogey on our
Alert. Body
six.
damage.
I believe these MiG-31s are super non-maneuverable,
Bogey on our
but
six.
man, they can haul ass.
On our
And if I remember correctly, I think these were the aircraft that almost shot down an F-15. Like, I think they were using, like, what was it, pincer maneuvers or something like that?
Bogey on our six.
Yeah, they got close once. If I'm thinking of the right aircraft.
Caution.
Pull out of it.
Engine stall. Caution.
Bogey on our tail.
Why is it engine stall?
On our left.
Engine's doing just fine.
Enemy in sight. Bogey on our tail. Enemy bogey at 12 o'clock. Bingo! Yahoo! Bogey on our tail. Bogey on our six. On our left.
The thatch weave. There you go. Thanks. Thanks, Noah.
Up ahead. Bogey on our six. On our left. Enemy targets located.
Yeah, I think that's what it was.
Bogey on our six. Enemy locked on target. Up ahead. Take off.
Damn.
On our left. Bogey on our tail. Bogey on our six. Bogey on our tail. On our right. Enemy in sight. Up ahead. On our right. Bogey on our six. Bogey on our tail. Enemy locked on takeoff. Enemy target located. On our right. Up ahead. Bogey on our six.
Come on.
Enemy in sight.
Got him.
Fire! Shoot it down! Enemy target located. Enemy target located. Up ahead.
Ah.
Bogey on our six. On our right. Bogey on our six. I'm losing him. Enemy target located. On our right. Fire. Bogey on our six.
Oh.
On our left.
Warning.
That looked like a YF-23. Watch the mountains.
Enemy target located. On our left.
All right,
Bogey on our six.
I'm gonna fly out a bit.
On our left. Bogey on our tail. Take off. I'm losing him.
Warning. Warning.
Warning.
Warning. Warning.
Locked on us. Missile approaching.
Caution.
Dive.
Are you
Dive.
shitting me?
Caution.
Okay.
located. On our left.
Caution.
Pull out of it.
Why did I stall?
Bogey on our 6.
I was only at 5,000 feet. Not 50,000 feet.
Take off.
This game needs to calm down.
Let's return to bogey on our 6. Take off. Enemy target located. Bogey on our 6. Bogey on our tail. Take off. I'm losing him. Enemy target located. Up ahead. On our left. Up ahead. Enemy locked on target. Fire. Shoot it down.
Warning.
Enemy locked on us. Missile approaching.
Caution.
Dive.
Caution. Alert. Body damage. Alert. Body damage.
Take off.
Alert. Body damage. Alert. Body damage.
I'm glad these birds are so
Alert, body
tough.
damage.
That could have killed me.
I'm losing him. Bogey on our 6. Take off. Let's return to mission, buddy.
Well, I'm gonna have to do fast passes. I can't do a...
Bogey on our 6.
I don't think I'm capable of doing a 1 circle or a 2 circle fight.
Take off.
I just have to extend out and do high-speed passes.
Enemy target located.
Warning.
Locked on us. Missile approaching. Dive. Dive.
Oh, there we go. That was close.
Mission accomplished.
Our recon work has identified the last fuel depot. Go and bomb it flat. Target. Group of fuel production bases. The enemy is using its top guns in this theater. Keep focused. Good hunting.
Alright, well, we're supposed to be able to bomb with the F-117, so let's see if this game is... I find that stealth technology representation in these type of arcade flight games are kind of hit and miss. Like, we feel all the negatives of, like, relying on heavy stealth tech of, like, the early 90s in these games, but we don't feel any of the benefits, like not being detected on radar, because it seems like we're always detected on radar. That seems to be the case for Air Force Delta Storm. It never felt like stealth mattered in that game. It always felt like I just got the downside, no upside. for stealth tech.
Up ahead!
Alert, body damage. Alert,
Enemy
body
on left.
damage. Alert, body damage. Alert,
on our
body
tail.
damage. Alert,
Up
body
ahead.
damage.
Quick shot!
Then again, we are using stealth fighters during the daytime. That's not great. We should really be using these at night, but I don't think this game has night missions. I don't think it wasn't as advanced to have night missions.
On our right!
The second game has
Enemy
night
in sight.
missions. Alright, let's try and lay... Oh god.
On our left! Bingo! Yahoo! Bogey on our altitude
Oh my
too low.
god.
Climb.
Caution,
Quick shot!
low altitude.
Take off! Bogey on our tail!
How does Ace Combat try and make stealth work in those games? We had a pretty dark mission in the city. Oh, that's right, we did. But the funny thing is, we didn't have access to the... We didn't have access to the 117, I don't think. Maybe we did, I don't know. It was the one chance we... The one chance for glory the F-117 had.
Enemy in sight. Up ahead!
Yeah, even like old like flight simulators.
Missile approach.
Oh shit.
Alert, body damage.
Yeah. Yep. That's exactly what would happen if I get stuck alone with an aircraft. Yep. Yeah, like was it the F-19? And then eventually the F-117 game, which is a remake of F-19. Even with its limited flight model and limited visuals and, you know, the fact that it came out in, like, what was it, like the late 80s, early 90s for PC? Even that game had a much more realistic stealth representation model.
Our recon work has identified the last fuel depot. Go and bomb it. Target. A group of fuel production bases. The enemy is using its top...
Ooh, tornado.
Ready? Break now! Enemy in sight. Enemy in sight. Enemy target located.
Warning,
Locked on us.
alert,
Missile
body
approaching.
damage.
Dive!
Alert,
Dive!
body damage.
Bogey on our
Alert,
tail!
body damage. Alert, body
Enemy locked on
damage.
target.
Alert,
Take
body
off.
damage.
Enemy in on our left. Enemy bogey on our 6. Enemy in sight. On our left. Take off. Bogey on our tail. Enemy locked on target. Altitude too low. Flying.
Caution,
Bingo.
low
Yeah.
altitude.
Altitude too low. Flying. Enemy bogey on our tail. Enemy in sight. Enemy locked on target. Quick shot. Bingo! Yahoo! On our right. Bogey on our 6. Bogey on our 6.
Warning. Warning.
Enemy in sight. On our right. On our right. Bogey on our tail. Enemy locked on target. Great shot up ahead. On our left. Bogey on our 6. Take off. On our left.
It's funny, you can see the ground clipping through the
Locked on us. Visual approach.
the polygons for the engines.
Bogey on our 6. Bogey on our tail. Enemy in sight. Up ahead. Bogey on our 6. Bogey on our tail. Take off. Enemy in sight. Up ahead. On our left. Bogey on our tail. Enemy locked on target. Up ahead. Enemy locked on target. Enemy bingo! Bogey at 12 o'clock. Bogey on our tail.
Alright.
Mission accomplished.
This sequence always reminds me a little bit of like how every level ends with an accumulation of all your accomplishments and stuff on that level for the Star Fox 64. Man, Star Fox 64 is such a good game.
Our offensive operations are now concentrated on the Scorpion Island fortress. The base itself is a hard nut to crack. We will isolate it by eliminating its bridge and central runway. Target, red suspension bridge to the island and its Air Force base. There will be plenty of ACAC and SAM defenses around the runway. Go in for one pass, then break off operations.
Okay, so it's a one and done. Alright, keep him off my tail. We're gonna do us a tornado again. There was a Star Fox game by Namco, by the people who worked on Ace Combat 2, apparently. Yeah, it was a Star Fox Assault. It was okay. They really tried to go for that Star Fox 64 feel. With limited success. It's definitely a lot more Star Fox focused than Star Fox Adventures. Then again, it's not really their fault. They were originally going to do, I think this was originally supposed to be a multiplayer-focused Star Fox game. That eventually fell by the wayside, and they had to create a traditional Star Fox game instead.
Enemy target located.
And so because of which, it really felt like the game was, like, not... I don't know, the game didn't feel quite like how it should have. I mean, it was decent.
Enemy in sight. Enemy target located.
It'd be cool if the Star Fox game played more like a classic Ace Combat game. Well, speaking of which, there is such a game in development right now by the fan community.
On our left.
It's really, really cool.
Bogey on our 6.
I would recommend looking that up on YouTube because there's a game being developed and it looks amazing. I really want to play it when it comes out before Nintendo squashes it. Because Nintendo doesn't know what to do with Star Fox.
Caution. Caution. Caution.
Locked on target. Great shot.
Alert, body damage. Alert, body damage.
Great shot.
Alert, body damage.
Enemy target located.
Alert, body damage. Alert, body
Bingo.
damage.
Woohoo!
Alright.
Bogey on our 6.
Alert, body damage. Alert,
Unhit.
body damage.
Unhit.
Alert, body
Take off.
damage.
Okay, there's the targets.
Alert, body damage. Alert, body damage.
Bogey at 12 o'clock. Enemy locked on target. And bogey on our tail. Bingo. Yeah. On our right.
Ah.
Alert, body
Shit.
damage. Alert, body damage.
What the hell did I get hit with?
Alert, body damage.
Bogey on our
Alert,
tail.
body damage. Alert,
our left.
body damage.
Up ahead. Enemy bogey at 12 o'clock. On
Caution.
our left.
Yes.
Mission accomplished.
Yeah, no rails. Okay, so the game I think uses a modified version of the I want to say it's a modified version of the Free Space 2 space engine. And yeah, it's not on rails. It's every single one is, you know, like a traditional like space game, except there's plenty of ground combat stuff. Nintendo fan product, I think it's C&D yet? Not yet. This has flown under the radar, so mum is the word. And yeah, they're fully voicing it. They're animating stuff.
The enemy is on his last legs. One more strike should lay him out. Take your unit through the ravine to the enemy headquarters. Intelligence is sketchy on force composition near the headquarters, so keep on your toes. Fly low on your way in. Everything above the ravine is a SAM kill zone.
Oh, here we go. Top Gun Maverick time. Yeah, I don't remember what they call the game, but obviously it's not called... I don't think they call it Star Fox. They call it something a little different. Like, something related to Lylant, but it's all the characters and stuff, you know?
Ready?
Oh gosh, give me control, give me control. Okay, good.
Enemy target
Oh my
located.
god.
Enemy in sight. Enemy locked on target. Fire! Shoot it down! Here, toast! Enemy target located. Enemy in sight. Enemy locked on target. Fire! Shoot it down, Aqua! Enemy target located. Enemy in sight. Enemy in sight. Enemy locked on target. Fire! Shoot it down! He's wasted! Enemy in sight. Enemy in sight. Jesus, miss! Bogey on our tail!
Slow is smooth and smooth is fast.
Enemy up ahead! Enemy locked on target. Fire! Shoot it down! I'm losing him.
Oh.
Mission accomplished.
Thank you for the love and support and for the health check redeem. You're still pulling up. Yeah, for some reason it's not working, so I'm gonna have to figure it out after stream. Which is weird because I have it set up and I have all the new stuff like connected and everything, but it's just not. It's not working. I don't know why.
Urgent message. Enemy giant airborne fortress discovered. This may be your final task. Eliminate it before it reaches our airspace.
Here it is, guys.
Urgent message. Enemy giant airborne fortress discovered. This may be your final task. Eliminate it before it reaches our airspace. Good luck.
Alright, we're going after this fortress with the F4, the quote-unquote weakest aircraft of the game. And we're going to take this thing down. Now, I do remember from listening from the soundtrack on the CD, because you can pop this CD into a CD player, and it will play the music for you. The Air Fortress stage is the coolest for, like, music for this game.
Break now. Enemy in sight. Enemy target located. Enemy locked on target. On our right. Bogey on our tail.
Damn, it not work?
Caution.
I guess not.
On our left. Enemy in sight. Bogey on our tail.
Caution. Caution.
Enemy locked on target.
Alert, body damage.
Go! Yeah!
Okay, we did get a hit.
Alert, body damage. Alert, body damage. Alert, body damage.
Bogey on our 6. Enemy locked on target.
Caution.
Take off.
Caution.
Bogey on our 6.
Alert, body damage.
Enemy in sight.
Alert, body
Enemy
damage.
locked on target.
Alert,
Take off.
body damage. Alert.
Come on, lock onto the right thing.
Alert,
Enemy locked
body
on
damage.
target. Great shot. Bogey on our 6.
Caution.
Great shot. On our right.
Alright.
Bogey on our 6.
Yeah, we're doing this in the F4 to spite the game.
On our
The
left.
F4 is not a...
Enemy locked missile approaching.
The F4 is not a bargain...
Caution.
It's not a bargain aircraft.
Alert, body damage.
Take off.
Alert, body damage.
Enemy locked on target.
We're doing this to restore the good name of the F4.
Alert, body damage.
Oh god.
Take off. Bogey on our 6. On our left. Enemy locked missile approaching. Dive.
Caution.
Dive. Bogey on our tail. Bogey on our 6.
Alert, body
Enemy
damage.
in sight. Bogey on
Okay.
our 6.
Alert,
Ah,
body
ah.
damage.
Okay, we're safe's coming. We're safe's coming. I want to defeat this with the F4. I don't care.
giant airborne fortress discovered. This may be your final task. Eliminate it before it reaches our airspace. Good luck. Urgent message. Enemy giant airborne fortress discovered. This may be your final task. Eliminate it before it reaches our airspace.
Ready? Right now! Enemy in sight.
Okay, let's target something.
Enemy target located. Enemy locked on target. Jesus, miss! Look on her tail!
Caution. Caution.
Enemy in sight.
Okay, that's good enough for me right there.
On our left.
Caution.
Enemy locked on. Look on her tail! Great shot! Bingo! Yahoo!
Caution.
Enemy locked on target.
Okay, I don't know where those missiles are coming from because I can't look around, so I hope they're
Bingo! Yahoo!
not in a... I'm hoping they're the missiles up from, like, being fired up there. Because that means...
Enemy locked on target.
That means by the time it turns, it's going to be...
Great shot! Enemy locked on target.
It's going to be... It's going to have to turn too hard.
Bingo! Yahoo! Enemy in sight. Great shot!
Caution.
Bingo! Yahoo! Great shot! Bingo! Yahoo! Jesus, miss! Enemy in sight.
Yeah, buddy. That was easy.
Congratulations. The enemy has capitulated and the coup has failed.
Yay!
Rightful government has been restored to this peaceful country. Your skill as Top Gun changed the balance.
It's really quiet.
From our hearts, we thank you.
Yeah, we saved Christmas. Yeah, we did it. This is the first time I've ever beaten Ace Combat or Air Combat. Now I can finally mark this on the list of the list of Ace Combat games to beat. The only one I need to beat now that isn't that is on console is Assault Horizon, and I don't really want to. This was probably mind-blowing at the time. Yeah, when it released, was it... when did the game release? Was it 96? 95, 96? Maybe 96. I know Ace Combat 2 releases in 97. And then Ace Combat 3 releases in, I want to say 99, I think? Or 2000? Play Ace Combat 3. Well, I mean, I already beat Ace Combat 3, but I beat the NA version of Ace Combat 3. I didn't beat the cool JP version. You're gonna have to walk me through how to make that work. You know, I just realized we never had the opportunity to purchase an F-22. Or a Sukhoi 27. Or 35.